My name is Vanessa Bailey, and I work for C-SPAN for BookTV as a marketing coordinator. So I travel all over the country and I talk to different authors from different places and help them get exposure on a national level for their book that they've written, so they can tell everyone in the United States about what made them write it, what the book's about, help them sell the book basically. And it's a great job. I get to see all kinds of different places, meet different people, help them out with their goal of getting people to read their book. That's basically it.
So what kind of stories and authors and genres are you looking for?
Well, since we're C-SPAN, that stands for Cable Satellite Public Affairs Network, we try and cover almost all nonfiction books, and the topics we shoot for, we try for a C-SPAN tilt, so we typically cover books about government or things that are happening in the news that are of a national interest. History, we like to talk about any events that happen in history that people wrote a book about, that kind of thing. That's typically what we cover.
You want to talk about the two different time slots that you're doing, the two shows?
Well, we have two flagship programs that we do right now. One is called In Depth and one is called Afterwards. So In Depth we do once a week, and we let an author tell us about their book on an in-depth level for maybe an hour at a time. And then Afterwards we do once a month, and we'll have an author give us an overview about themselves, their lives, any books they've written throughout their life. So that's once a month. And we also re-air episodes of Encore Book Notes, which was a program we used to do. Our CEO, Brian Lamb, would do an interview with an author, and unfortunately we don't do that program anymore, but we still show reruns, and they're still great to watch, and they're still just as entertaining as they were a few years ago, so that's why we keep running them.
So you have two buses, and can you talk about why the buses?
Well, we are a small company, so the great thing about the bus is it works two ways. It works as a promotional tool, so we're able to spread the word about C-SPAN, just like authors on our show are allowed to spread the word about their book. We need to get the word about what we do. So that's part of it. And the other part is we get to get some great interviews for our program, so we get to sort of bolster our network and our program by using the bus as a studio.
Can you talk about how Mr. Lamb got the idea for the bus?
Well, the original inspiration came from a book called The Magic Bus that he read. He was inspired by the author who wrote it. He was a teacher, and he wanted to be able to give his students an interactive view of some of the events that happened in America's history. So instead of having them cramped up in the classroom, he decided he was going to get a bus and take them to where the events actually happened. And Mr. Lamb was just really inspired by that, so he decided to get his own buses. So we started with school buses, and we would go to different schools all over the country and talk to teachers about C-SPAN and how they could use this in their classroom. And then it gradually switched over to the two buses that we have now, which are the BookTV bus, of course, and the Campaign 2008 bus. And they both have the same function, partially as a marketing tool and partially as a mobile production studio that we use for programming on C-SPAN. We have a great website. It's booktv.org. You can get on the website if you're interested in seeing what our upcoming schedule is. You can check that. You can see previous interviews that we've shot. You can check out our podcast. If you have ideas, if you've written a book, you can submit your information through our website. It's a great tool you can use if you're interested in learning more about BookTV or submitting your idea to us.